Hello, Shadow Apocalypse. It is Horseman here. Today, I bring to you some news that Fallout 4 is getting some DLC, and today I just did a little bit of digging to find a little bit more information on release dates, prices, and whatnot. But before I get into the prices, there's one thing I definitely want to point out is the fact that. Um, I was looking at IGN.com, and they were saying in a video that when it was released, that the price on the season pass will be going up to anywhere between $50 to $60. I do believe they said $55 starting in March. As of right now, it's only $30. And the reason for this is because they looks like Bethesda's putting out three new pieces of DLC in a fairly short period of time. The third being the biggest, the second being the smallest, and I guess due to production costs and whatnot, it went up. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that idea. I mean, if you're going to offer season pass, for $30, then I do believe it should say that or stay that way, and you should stay within your budget. So if it requires that you have to up the price in order to compensate for uh, some more uh, costs that are being put into it, then you're probably not doing something right. The good news is that for those that paid the $30 for the season pass and is already tied to your account, whatnot, then luckily for us, we get grandfathered into that and we get all the extra for the same price. So we don't have to pay anything extra on top of what we already paid. As you can see here on this page, the first is going to be Automatron, and the second is going to be the Wasteland Workshop, and then Far Harbor. And I mean, they are saying that there's going to be more planned in the future, but I do like the idea that we're getting the first one in March, Automatron. So we get to build mechs. We get, as you can see in this picture right here, he's got what looks like the Automatron's armor t- uh, packed onto his body there with the companion Sentry Bot. I think that would be great, and it looks like it's pieced together, built and customized the way he wanted to, but there's not a lot of information aside from what you see here. As you can see here, we can hunt them down, harvest parts to build and mod your own custom robot companions, which is cool. But in the end, we are looking for the mysterious mechanist. So I think it's interesting. I would like to see a little bit more about what this mechanist is. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be anything canon, or to me, it feels more like one of those add-ons that was tacked on to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, where it's not something that I can even take seriously. Definitely not something as part of the story. It doesn't build on the story. But needless to say, it would be pretty badass if I can walk around with a companion that's actually a giant sentry bot. Because if you've actually ever gone toe to toe with one of those, they can wreck your face. So being able to have one tag along with me, great. The second one, the Wasteland Workshop, as you can see here, the April 2016, and you'll notice that I did try to get as much close to legit source as I could, the Bethesda.net itself. Um, uh, Once again, there's not a ton of information that's out on this, but it does look like one of the things that stood out to me was that you can tame monsters, trap them, and either use them as traps or to pit monsters against monsters in an arena, as you can see here. And I think that would be pretty awesome. As you can see down there at the bottom, tame them or have them face off in battle, even against your fellow settlers. Now, whether or not they actually die would be something that I would be curious about, because I would hate to lose a settler um, to a death claw attack, especially if I'm working to build up my settlements. And does that mean the companions are also included? Because it would be kind of cool to put Preston Garvey in a fight against a few death claws just to see if you could still save the other settlements in the Commonwealth. But it doesn't seem to be something that appeals to my particular taste, but it would be fun just to go around and see if I can um, tame one of these beasts. And lastly, Far Harbor, as you can see there, it's got a price point of about 25 bucks. It looks like it's going to be releasing in May, so we're getting one DLC for every month for the next 3 months, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm kind of wondering as to why they're putting out three of them so quickly, but it looks like they put a lot of work and thought into this last one. They did say that it is the an expansion or DLC with the largest amount of content that is added in terms of landmass and quest and whatnot. So it seems to be pretty awesome. There's a lot more information on this one, um, but there's still not a ton of information. Like who? I mean, it says here that we might be fighting a getting in between a conflict between the synths and the children of the atom, but it doesn't really get into what our purpose is, where, how all this fits into the main story, if at all, or how this fits into the overall Commonwealth and the people. Um, one of the things that I am interested in is stuff like this skeleton here. Now, I know in the concept art for Fallout 4, one of the pieces that was teased was a kraken, a giant squid, and I figured with all the water that is present in the game that we were going to be going there and fighting some type of kraken, some giant monster. So, but I didn't really have the patience to try to explore all the wet areas on the map. If any of you did, that'd be great to find out if there was anything else in there. But needless to say, I did not find anything interesting in the water. But if something like this exists in this DLC, that would be fantastic. All right. Um, that being said, I do want to talk about my thoughts on the DLC. I love DLC. I love being able to explore some more areas in the game, to see more things, to bring more life to the game that isn't just mods. Because I mean, I am a fan of mods. I like to play them, but because of the fact that I do try to go through the game at least one time without any mods, second time through. I don't always ever complete it all the time as fully as I would like. Um, by I already know that with the DLC, I'm going to be taking my very first character and going through the content and trying to see what it has to offer. They did say that there was going to be higher level armor and that we can find some new stuff, hopefully some new legendary pieces, and that's all fine and good. But the content itself from the company itself is going to be a welcome addition, and it gives me a lot more replayability than just mods alone. Now, granted, I do enjoy a good mod, but it doesn't have the same effect as some good old-fashioned content. All right. There isn't really much else to be said right now. Um, I'm just going to be fiddle farting around in this area for a little bit and just messing with my mods. And let me know what you think about the new DLC and what you think could be brought to the game, if anything. Wow, am I that terrible? Yep, I am that terrible. Alright. Alright, well, I'm not going to embarrass myself any further. So, Horseman out.